I don't have much. I would just like to attend this training. Let's see, when is it? December 18th. It's not mandatory, but it's kind of mandatory. It's kind of what we get from the state that you're not required to, but
We won't help you if you get in trouble.
Well,
and it's on the affordable
we need
housing.
somebody to figure this out.
We do, and according to the state, we have to use the guide. So we have to use what they tell us to value it. Even if we don't get the income expense information from the housing, which we've discussed that I have not been able to get that, we still have to use the guide to value it.
Okay.
So not being familiar with that and not seeing it, I'd like to go to the training. And like I said, it's one of those things that's not mandatory, but
I went to their annual meeting the other night in Hill City. And it wasn't the setting to bring up a lot of questions, but I really don't think any of their housing tax has been paid anywhere in Northwest Kansas.
that's what it sounds like, yeah.
So how are they doing this? Are they delinquent?
Yeah,
So can we have a tax sale?
yeah.
They're just the 1 year delinquent, but
Yeah,
They
they're just
continue.
one behind,
Oh, they're just one behind?
but it's nearly
Problem
$9,000.
is you're giving them money, and they're not paying
And they're not paying their
taxes.
taxes.
Is that how they normally operate, is 1 year behind? They just let it go 1 year?
No. Because the
They've
way I
been paid
understand
in
it,
the
none
past.
of their properties, the taxes have been paid.
Say, the ones in Bird, but they only are a year past, you say?
2018. But now they'll have 2019 due in December.
So are we gonna give them money?
Well, we're already locked in for,
We would think you.
It's budgeted, but we didn't mean we gotta give it.
Yeah, I don't know that you could hold it. I would think, I don't know, we need to talk to Leslie and
well, that was, and we need Helen Dobbs' input too, because she's only one around that really understands it, how that works.
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to give somebody money when they owe you money.
Yeah. The little gal that's helping you with your street projects, what's her name?
Justine.
Might reach out to her and see what she has to say about this.
Yeah, we can do that. Back to my training.
I move we give Amanda the,
I was going to say, we kind of got off course
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And then I've got one more. There's a 402 workshop. Sorry, this is just an email. I don't have anything to print off. So to be a county appraiser, there's 3 different qualifications you can have. You can have a general certificate, you can have an IAAO designation, or you can have an RMA. I have an RMA. We've talked about appraisers being on the chopping block every year with legislators. You know, last year it was trying to make us state employees, and one of the questions was, what are you going to do? What's going to be the education requirements if they make us state employees? KCAA is offering this 402, which is tax policy, I believe. It would go, so right now I enrolled to get my CAE from IAAO. I've got all the classes taken.
That's a lot of acronyms, so I'm not fine.
I've got all the classes taken. I have to take an 8-hour case study, and I also have to do a project with a 150-page narrative report. So
150 pages.
yeah, that's why I haven't completed that one yet, because it's going to take a lot of time to get that done. The AAS, which is the Assessment Administration Specialist, is another designation. I would have all the classes except for this tax policy. It's offered in Topeka. They don't offer them where it's, IAAO is international, so they offer classes all over the U.S.
And having one at Topeka is an advantage because
It's an advantage, and it also goes to my continuing ed for my RMA. So we're not out anything. I can
Yeah.
take it. They've got a workshop if I want to go on and take the case study. My only problem is it's the last week in February, and we have to have valuation notices out on or before March 1. So I got to make sure my work is, I'm ahead of the game before I can go, but I would like contingent on making sure that I have everything.
So you're basically getting ready in case the state does take it over?
I would like to have a designation in case they say, okay, we're going to require it, instead of trying to play catch-up, you'd be
Yeah.
ahead of the game. And like I said, it doesn't affect anything. The classes still count towards my RMA if I don't take the
But
case study.
It helps you on your
It'll help me in
job
it.
anyway, right?
Yeah,
I hate to turn down any training requests.
especially when,
a lot to read for what you just mentioned.
that's what I said, it's just an email, you've got the whole list of people, and it's got this little bit of text. A colleague of mine in Brooks County, she just got her AAS and her RES last year. And I think this class, she traveled to Nashville, Tennessee to get it. So if it's here in our backyard, I'd rather
Just
just
take advantage of
take
it.
advantage of it. It goes to my continuing ed, and if I can utilize it down the road.
Yeah, I think
it's
it was,
better.
when it 2 years ago, they talked about making you guys an elected official too.
2 or 3 years ago.
They had no idea what to do with you guys.
No. And I don't think
But
either one would be.
obviously, somebody wants some change somewhere.
Which I know, if it was 2 or 3 years ago making us elected, I'm trying to think what county that was. Down by
Yeah.
Wichita, they had issues with their county appraiser. I know who the county appraiser is, but I can't remember what.
I
Cowley
kinda
County,
remember that
maybe?
story.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty close, yeah.
But I think that's when that push came in. I'm not for sure what the push to make us state employees, but somebody somewhere has an issue, so.
All right, Amanda, yeah, I think you guys in agreement?
I think you should. I'll make a motion that we allow her to attend both seminars?
Trainings, yeah.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thanks, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Staying home?
Headed to Wamego, so,
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Well, let the sun shine on it a
I
little
was
longer.
gonna say, leave later on today, hopefully the roads will be
Yeah,
cleared up
hopefully.
by then, yeah.
Morning, DJ.
Morning. I got a couple things for you this morning, guys. Let's probably start with equipment. On Unit 18, when we bought the new pickup at the beginning of the year, I transferred all the old equipment over onto it. And so that equipment is from 1993. I paid $900 to rebuild the old pump on there. And I've been getting through the year, but it only puts out 10 gallon a minute, and with the system I put on it, I was not fully divulged upon that it needs 60 gallons a minute pump to run everything completely. So I can use one nozzle or the other, I can't run everything together, but as I said, I've been limping that along. So I kind of talked about just getting a new pump for $900, and that's not the case. With that old fiberglass tank, I have to replace it because you can't drill a hole in the bottom, it's too brittle. So I'd like to talk about getting bids here for the middle of the month of possibly replacing the system of the tank, pump, and motor.
What kind of estimated cost are you looking at?
Roughly $3,000. That'll be a 500-gallon tank, a cradle, a pump, and a motor, and all the plumbing. I haven't got all the bids yet. But I'd like to proceed with that if you'd allow.
Willie?
It's a lot of money, but could you fix the other one to make it?
I have to replace the fiberglass tank. That is the actual true problem, besides the pump not having enough gallons per minute coming out of it, is the fiberglass tank. We can't lift it up and drill a hole in the bottom. It's too old, it's brittle, it's already cracking. I'm afraid if I drill a fitting bung into it, it's going to snap the bottom of the tank, and then I can't use it. I can still use it right now. It's just not to full capacity, but I can get by. I was just wanting to see your interest in allowing me to try to.
Is that in your budget? Or do you
Yes, I have plenty of my budget yet this year. That's why I'm asking.
I guess if you need it, that's.
I think way I'm kind of feeling here is go ahead and let's seek some bids. And let's see what kind of bids you get, and we'll go from there.
I did also talk to Brock McAtee about a shipping container. And yeah, that's coming roughly in about $55,200. But Dave and I are still trying to work out a plan together, and we may approach you with something different here later. So I'm going to hold off on the shipping container right now.
Okay, as long as you two are working together and in sync, I think
We're trying.
We're good. That's all I can ask.
Yeah, you know those carports that they make, would that make more sense? They're storage, you can get them all completely covered. It'd be less than that.
Well, it might, but our idea now is to just go ahead and make the repairs on the building that's already established there and do some updating if we can both figure it out within our budgets to do so, or do something together. But we'd like to approach you with that later when we get some things hammered down.
Okay.
We did get all the aerial spraying done. That came in at 2,444 acres total. There was a few guys that did not take the cost share. It didn't matter to them.
They just paid for it out.
Yeah, they just paid for it. But so about the rough total bill altogether was $4,950.58. You'll see the bigger voucher here in the middle of the month. And now my last item is prairie dogs. I got another continuing problem. We've had this for 2 years now. They promised me 2 years ago they'd work on it. They didn't do a very adequate job. They went out and knocked down all the holes with a speedy mover, but that's all they did. And it just really made the prairie dogs move a lot. So I sent the contact letter after talking with Leslie, and they received it at the 1st of November, and I have not heard a word back since. I would like to work with Leslie to move forward, but I'd like to know what you guys would like me to do to move forward.
Sounds like you need to reach out again and recontact them and see what their intentions are.
Okay, I've tried to phone, and I
Nothing.
couldn't left a message, no call back.
Legally, they have to do something, right?
I enforce County Resolution 0604, which states that you must contain the prairie dogs to your property, or the county can come in and bait the situation if needed, or they will bait the neighbor's property at your expense. But when push comes to shove, it comes down to the board, and the county attorney has a letter. I'm just your man on the ground.
Well, have a discussion with Leslie and get her input on what your next move might ought to be. And we're certain they received the correspondence.
Yes, I send everything certified.
Certified.
It has to be signed to be received, and they did. I didn't get it returned.
Well, it sounds to me like it's time for another certified letter.
Okay, and I can do that. I'll
A
send the same.
little stronger wording.
I'd like to maybe have a letter in there from Leslie or on
Yes.
behalf of the board,
Yes. I agree
if
with
possible.
that. Move forward with that, get with Leslie and
What would be their reasoning not to want to get rid of them, or not to?
I don't know. Sometimes it's financial reasons. A lot of people like them. They like to hunt them. And that's not a problem if you want to hunt them on your property, but when we're extending from your property a quarter mile on all sides, that usually tends to get people a little upset.
I can imagine, yeah. Especially if you have cows out there, I guess.
And I mean, altogether, if you want to know this, for me bidding the job would be a $900 job total, rough.
to take care of the problem outside of his
No,
property.
that'd be, yeah, to take care of his property. Adjoining people were taking care of their own so far that I've known.
Okay. Yeah, let's start that way. don't you think?
I think so, yeah. We've got to do something.
Another certified letter, that way we know that they're signing for it, receiving it.
No, that'll work for me. I'll
Okay.
work with Leslie, and if there's any changes or anything that really needs brought forth, I'll do so.
Sounds good.
And we have your assistant, pay scale and job description that needs approval.
Yes,
And this is a pay scale, this is what we went off of.
Okay.
He has worked with Leslie a lot.
You
He's,
found someone then?
not yet. I'm gonna put an ad in the paper come January 1. That way I get a little hands-on time, work with some prairie dogs, and we got training coming up in March. I'd like to get to work toward that. If this person, I believe if the person that applies would be the person that we'd hire on. I got quite a bit of learning on that. I've never had an employee under me yet. We did leave that the same with the CDL and everything.
Just on the last two.
Okay.
We have trouble finding an invoice for the county anyway. Do you think you'll have any trouble with this?
The only place I see